Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Nom Bros Pod, episode 3. I'm Justin.
And I'm John. What's going on?
We appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you very much. We are one subscriber away from 20, and we just want you guys to know we really appreciate it. So, thank you very much. Like and subscribe, and thanks for being here.
Hey man, good to see you. Looking forward to talking a bit tonight. You wanted to talk about a movie that you had watched recently, an '08 classic, one of the best of all time, on most top 100 film lists of all time, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's been in the news a lot with his upcoming epic, The Odyssey, dropping later this year, I think in July. Looking forward to that a lot. But yeah, you wanted to talk about The Dark Knight, so let's jump into it.
I haven't seen it in a while. Watched it for the first time in easily 3 or 4 years, and it holds up, first of all. A lot of people would consider it the best Batman movie of all time. I would. Where do you rank it?
Definitely best of all time. It's not even close for me. When I think Batman, I think The Dark Knight. Um, and then honestly, I like Robert Pattinson's Batman. Matt Reeves is the
I do.
latest, which is a sequel is also in the works for that.
Yep,
But
about
yeah,
time.
when I think Batman, The Dark Knight is definitely number one.
Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind for pretty much anybody is Heath Ledger's portrayal, excuse me, of the Joker. Still, in my opinion, the greatest portrayal of all time.
His best role that he was ever in, without a doubt.
Agreed. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix just did his thing, with two Joker films. There's Jack Nicholson. A lot of people shit on Jared Leto. Regardless, the Joker conversation's a whole side note. But if we're just being upfront about, the headlines to The Dark Knight, it's Heath Ledger. It's the Joker. Just an unbelievable performance. But the one thing I wanted to bring up initially and get your feedback on was the interrogation scene with him and Christian Bale, him and Batman. One of my favorite scenes ever. And I don't know if Christopher Nolan was doing this intentionally, but it really gives me Heat vibes with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro
Okay.
and how it's just kind of an extremist on both sides, just sitting down
Sure.
and just hashing it up. And everything, the thing I love about the scene is everything Heath Ledger says is
It's so
100%
true.
accurate.
It's so true.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the dialogue, the script is brilliant. Um, and you're right. It represents, good versus evil in that scene, but what's right and what's wrong, who's right, who's wrong, maybe a little bit of both in there, depending on, what your stance is. It's almost definitely politically driven in a sense. You can watch that scene over and over and you can pick out the politics, that were in mind when writing that script and that dialogue. And yeah, probably the best scene in that movie, honestly, where both Christian Bale and Heath Ledger are working together. You could watch that multiple times and pick out little nuances in what they're saying to one another, facial expressions, body language,
Yep.
little tips that happen, and just really impressive to see, top-notch actors at work in a scene like that. And you're right, I didn't know if you wanted to touch base on some of the lines that they talk about, but something that always stood out to me was, you know, Heath Ledger talking, about, you're needed right now, but when they don't need you, they'll toss you out,
like a leper.
like a
Like a
leper.
leper.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's so disturbing almost, but like dark and true. And
Yeah.
it just makes you think. I love watching a movie. I don't care if it's a movie about a freaking Batman or whatever, superhero. I'm not a big superhero movie fan, but any film that, can just drop in a really artful, deep conversation like that you're not expecting, that kind of stops you in your tracks and makes you think about society as a whole or, what is being presented to the viewer.
No, absolutely. Yeah, starting with that line, they need you right now. Um, but when they don't, they'll cast you out.
When they don't, they'll cast you out.
Which is exactly where the start of The Dark Knight Rises leaves him. He's a leper, right?
Like a leper.
Like he's an outcast. The feds are looking for him. The city hates him.
That
And
line alone was just foreshadowing about what was to come for
but
Bruce Wayne.
so was the very next line, which is talking about the citizens of Gotham, quote unquote, their morals, their code is a bad joke dropped at the first sign of trouble. And in The Dark Knight and Batman
They'll eat each
Begins,
other.
they'll eat each other. Exactly. They are civil, the first two films of that trilogy, they follow it by the book. But when Bane comes through and takes shit over, all their morals, all their codes go out the fucking window. And they're raiding each other's houses, they're murdering each other, they're, casting the rich out onto the street and taking it over. Everything that Heath Ledger's Joker says in that interrogation scene happens in The Dark Knight Rises.
And
And I
that's how
think,
society actually is as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
which is just the writing. It goes back to the writing. Christopher Nolan, I think his brother Jonathan Nolan assisted on that script too. Maybe not that one, maybe it was The Dark Knight Rises, but yeah, there's definitely a political message in there and a theme about society in general.
For sure. And if we're looking at other lines Heath Ledger says throughout that movie is people show you who they are before they die. I believe he says that to the police officer who's watching him in that holding cell after the interrogation scene. And then he taunts the cop a little bit and says, "Do you want to know which of your friends were cowards?" Which ultimately enables his escape. But his last scene in the movie, he's in the big showdown with Batman and Skyscraper, and Batman throws him over his head, and he's fallen stories. I'm talking like 300 stories from this skyscraper. He's just laughing like a hyena, just laughing like a maniac. And once again, just looking at the writing, and you can tell that they had a purpose. Like you could tell they weren't just writing, they had somewhere they were going with The Dark Knight Rises, of course, but before the movie was even over. I mean, when Bat after Two-Face dies, Batman pretty much lays it all out. I'm what this city needs me to be. And it doesn't always have to be the good guy, the hero. It's just something. It's some type of tool. It's some type of outlet to
He's a
ensure
symbol.
X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
a symbol.
yeah. Yeah, so those lines from Heath Ledger, they make the movie for me. They really do. Um the makeup, the scars, the greasy ass hair. I really you couldn't pay me to say anything negative about his portrayal. I think it's one of those characters that are just damn near perfect, in my opinion.
I agree. So many memorable scenes in that movie too that will just stand the test of time. This scene made this movie just escalate, elevated more and more.
Yep.
When I think The Dark Knight, I think personally, in my opinion, I think the tunnel scene. Escorting Harvey Dent in the SWAT vehicle and Joker ambushing
Yeah.
it with his henchmen. That's a insane, incredible scene from start to finish.
Yep.
Super dark, which I love, when it comes to Batman.
Yep.
You know, uh, I like the darkness. I don't like the cheese.
I don't want to go cheesy. I want to really avoid any cheese.
And it definitely kept a good tone, a good dark tone throughout. And it's kind of impossible not to with Heath Ledger's performance. But yeah, I always think of the tunnel scene, when the Dark Knight uses his little motorcycle to flip the semi truck.
Yeah. That's a sick shot.
That transition when Heath Ledger gets out of the truck and approaches, the streets and just shoots up random vehicles. That little section right there, he has so many scene stealing moments like that where it's just like, wow, that's Heath Ledger. Like that's
Hmm.
That's not the Heath Ledger from The Patriot and that corny ass. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
just shows his ability to just transform into character. And it,
yeah.
yeah, really good movie. I don't know if you have favorite moments in that other than the interrogation scene that you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, when he raids the fundraiser that Bruce Wayne is throwing for Harvey Dent, he comes in, grabs a champagne glass, and then takes a shot of it empty. To my knowledge, I think that was him improvising. I don't even think that was in the script. And then when he comes up to Rachel, I believe she was so the story is that I've seen behind the scenes when he's up in her face talking about how he got the scars, which is another cool touch, not to get sidetracked, but how he tells it three different times, three different stories. I love that because he's an unreliable narrator. But
Sure.
when he's telling Rachel how he got the scars, I forget the actress's name.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal's sister.
Oh, is it? Wow,
Hmm.
I didn't know that. Apparently,
Yeah.
though, her reaction was genuine. Like he was
Mhm.
up in her face and just like obviously in character they're shooting and she was fucking terrified apparently and just kind of like lost for words and really didn't know how to react, and it's really cool rewatching that knowing that bit of information because you can see it all over her face. She's not even acting, she's just genuinely like, oh my God, this is like wild and iconic and scary and just you she just has so many emotions, you can just tell. um Unbelievable acting, unbelievable performance.
Great script too. Improv or not, that whole scene, starts with Bruce Wayne arriving to his own fundraiser late. And
Yeah,
he walks in and he's like, now, where is Harvey? Harvey Dent.
right.
The same thing that the Joker says when he
Yes.
arrives at the party.
But no, it goes back to what we were talking about with the interrogation scene and where I got the idea. I'm always reminded of Heat because it's two extremes, but they're very similar. Like you just
Right.
said, they both come through late.
Same motivations for different reasons, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, and not to get too sidetracked, but another movie I watched with Heath Ledger in it. Take a guess.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is such an underrated 90s comedy,
It
teen
is.
comedy.
Yeah.
Never good. It doesn't age. Like it stands up today just as well as then.
It is hysterical. There's nothing corny about it. I could watch that anytime. And once again, that just shows, you brought up The Patriot a little bit ago, how amazing of an actor Heath Ledger was. You
Hmm.
have roles like him portraying, an American Revolutionary War. Then he goes, to 10 Things I Hate About You. And then he goes to The Joker. Like, he was an unbelievable actor. He
Brokeback
could do,
Mountain. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's a good movie. Like his range of acting, very like he won an Academy Award
yeah.
twice, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he won. Well, I think the Joker was Best Supporting Actor, and then was it Brokeback Mountain that got him another one?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. But there's so many actors nowadays that just stick to one lane, and like yeah, cool, like that gets you paid, and that's what you're known for, cool. But I love seeing actors portray different roles, different styles, different genres because that shows they're a true actor rather
Sure.
than someone like Jamie Lee Curtis playing in every slasher movie in the 80s, and then you got Kevin Hart playing the same old corny ass silly, like it's just I love seeing actors try different things because it really highlights their talent and their ability. And that's
Well, they're
that's
true
an actor.
artists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true
they're
artists
true
for sure.
artists.
Yeah, for sure. Some of my favorite quotes. Go ahead, let's just fire them off.
You start.
Look, I'm in it for the cash. Donna can plow whoever he wants.
Hey, there will be no plowing. Okay. That's good. That's good. I like when the I heard he ate a live duck once. Everything
Everything
but the
but the
duck.
beak and feet.
That's great. It is such a good movie. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's based on a William Shakespeare play.
No way.
I think it is. Look
Are
it
you
up.
shitting me?
No, I'm not. I'm pretty sure it's very
I am
loosely
not.
based.
I'm not shitting you. Um, we set this whole thing up for Cameron. Cameron could get the girl. What is it with this chick? She
Joey's
got
just
beer.
the pawn.
What is it with this chick? She got beer flavored nipples.
Hey,
Hey.
there's a dick on my face, isn't there?
Hold on, before we get started, should you be drinking without a liver?
What? Nothing. You know, the last party I was at was at Chuck E. Cheese.
It's hysterical we're talking
Hey,
about
could you
that.
stop being so self-absorbed for 1 minute?
How do
How
I
do I
look?
look? He's a fucking great actor.
He is. He is.
Fucking what's his name? David Krumholtz,
Yeah, man.
whose like first role was Bernard the Elf in the Santa Claus. That dude, he when I think David Krumholtz, I think the fucking Finding Ben Stone deleted scenes from not the film.
Yeah.
Action, you fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. I told you not to get fucking pregnant. What?
Uh,
You fucking
yeah,
bitch.
I forgot about that. That's like better than the movie.
I
That
know.
that
It
shit
is.
is so funny. That is hysterical.
It's great. He fucking all improv too. I love how they like, all right, break, cut. And they're like, David, you just bought baby clothes and now you're going off about why she's pregnant. And he's like, you said I could have creative freedom.
Dude,
And action, you fucking bitch.
holy shit.
Oh, that's so good.
It's hysterical.
Let's go back to 10 Things I Hate About You. I'm
Yeah,
looking up what it's based off of. It's a reimagining of William Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. Yeah,
hmm,
I've never heard of that one, but I knew that because there's so much Shakespeare imagery throughout that movie.
there is.
Um, with the one girl character, they're always talking about it, and but yeah, great flick.
It
So
really is.
quotable. Great cast. Great soundtrack too, by the way.
Phenomenal soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah.
I just was jamming to that Bare Naked Ladies song in the opening. I forget what
One
the
week.
Chinese chicken
It's
one.
called
One
One Week.
week, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like that song, that band, when they
Club Skunk.
yeah, yeah.
I can't be seen at
When
Club Skunk.
when Julia Stiles, is that her name, the actress?
Hold on.
Letters to Cleo, that's the name of that band. They're
Yeah.
fucking great. Yeah. You know, these guys are no bikini kill or raincoats, but they're not bad. What I mean, we can't talk The Dark Knight without mentioning the opening scene. One
Yes.
of the best opening scenes, to kick off a movie.
Yes.
Um,
Again, he inspired.
I don't know how to do anything else. Neither do I.
it,
Very.
it definitely has a Heat feel to it, and
Yes.
leads to a great reveal of the Joker.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to talk about, a few pet peeves I have with The Dark Knight. Um, the opening scene, for all of its greatness, he crashes a school bus into a bank and then pulls the school bus out onto the main road without the buses behind or in front
Right.
recognizing that.
True.
So, theory about that, is that ridiculous plot hole, or is that just another subtle way of them showing that the whole city had, fallen into corruption at that point? Because that's a big major point of interest, in the beginning of that film, that there was corrupt cops, politicians, everybody seemed corrupt, who may have been in a position of power in one way or another. So while that gets, knocked for, even happening in that scene, maybe other school buses were even in on it, the drivers.
Well, yeah, it's a great point.
Another issue, Christian Bale, great actor.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Someone knows where he is.
Yeah, some of the fucking lines in that movie are just
Drop the gun.
I saw this one parody where it was that hockey pads one. He's like, "What gives you the right? What's the difference between you and me?" And the guy just goes,
yeah, love Christian Bale, but some of the creative choices that were made there, just I don't know. I mean, cringe, you know. It's like they told him behind the scenes, like, "Hey, Christian, like,
"You're
that
doing
was good. That was
good."
good." But tone it down, like you haven't just eaten three hot, spicy chili cheese dogs.
Thank you, Lord.
So, John, diving into episode 3, what are we thinking? Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate it. We got a very fun show planned for sure. What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Batman.